Hey, what's up everybody? It's Brian Dean from QuickSprout, and in this video, I'm going to show you 5 examples of people that are just crushing it with guest posting and how you can do the same thing for your guest posting campaigns. So the first person we'll talk about is Leo, who co-founded Buffer App. And as you can see here in this interview that he did with Eric Sue from Search Engine Watch, Buffer took their site from 0 to 100,000 customers using guest posting. So how did they do it? Well, one thing they did that was very, very smart was, in addition to the basics, which is getting your guest posts on sites where your target audience hangs out, which they obviously did because they're a social media tool and they posted at Social Mouths, which is a very popular site in the social media niche. They tied their product into the guest post. So here's a guest post called 3 Reasons Using Apps for Posting on Facebook Works Again. Now, this is actually a really good guest post about why people should consider using apps to market on Facebook, but they also subtly mention their product in the guest post. So when someone reads this guest post, not only are they getting a lot of value, which will increase the likelihood that they click through to their author bio area, but they've already seen the app in action. So they're already convinced that this is something that they might want to check out. So when they head down to the author bio, they're very, very likely to click through. Okay, so whenever possible, tie in what you or your company is doing into your guest post in a subtle, non-salesy way. So that's the takeaway message from Leo's campaign at Buffer App. So next we'll look at Matt from Life Prioritize. And what he does is that he actually links to custom landing pages. Okay, so for each guest post that he publishes, he has a custom landing page just for that traffic. So here's a guest post that he published actually at the Buffer App blog. Now, as you can see in his author bio, he doesn't just say visit Matt at my site. He says he shares a lot of great productivity tips. So this anchor text is good for ranking for the keyword productivity tips. But when you actually visit the page, you can see that he says, if you're finding my blog via my guest post on the Buffer blog, welcome and thank you for clicking through. So imagine that you're someone who just read his guest post and clicked through, and that page is speaking just to you. Okay, so that's going to increase your conversion rate a lot. So if you're going to publish on a really, really popular site, consider creating a custom landing page just for that traffic, and that'll increase your conversion rate quite a bit. Now, next we'll talk about Ann Smarty. So Ann Smarty runs My Blog Guest, which is a very popular guest blog dating site. Now what she does is, not only does she publish great content like this one about how to promote infographics, but she shares it on social media, especially Google+, where she has a lot of followers. You can see she had 23,000 circles, which is a lot. So the takeaway lesson here is to share your content on social media, and every time you publish a guest post, really, really push it. Now, when you do that, it establishes you as a thought leader, because when people see your guest post published elsewhere, they think, oh, wow, this person must know what they're talking about if they're published at so many places. But more importantly, it'll help you get your guest post accepted on other websites. So when Ann approaches a website for a guest post opportunity and she says, look, I've shared every guest post I published last month on Google+ to get them the most amount of traffic, they're going to be much more likely to say yes than if you just say, I'll publish a piece of great content. Okay, so that gives them an incentive to publish your post. So the takeaway lesson here is always share your guest post on social media, and then when you're going to pitch a guest post, make sure you emphasize the fact that you will do your best to get the most amount of traffic to your guest post and their site. So next we'll talk about Jason Demers at Audience Bloom. Now what he does that's brilliant is that he actually applies to be a regular monthly columnist at authority sites. So as you can see, he's been published at Entrepreneur.com, the Huffington Post, Forbes, and Mashable. Now, if he approached those sites and said, hey, I'd like to write a one-off guest post for you, they might have said yes. But when he approached them and says, hey, I'd love to be a monthly columnist, it increases the value of the pitch considerably. So you should definitely consider becoming a monthly columnist for at least one website in your niche, because that's actually a win-win. Because let's say, for example, that you're in the SEO niche and you want to become a monthly columnist for Search Engine Guide. Now, Search Engine Guide benefits because they know that they're going to get a great piece of content every month from you. Like Jason, he publishes a great piece of content every month. And it benefits you because you know, like clockwork, where you're going to get your guest post published and how much traffic you're going to get. So it's very predictable every month in and month out. But the other benefit you get is that you get an author page. So as you can see here, Jason has an author page, which is very authoritative because every time that he publishes something, it links back to this page and it sends a lot of juice to this page, which then sends juice to his website. So this author page a lot of times can be like a page authority 40 plus, which is very, very powerful. And that usually you have to be a monthly columnist to get this author page. So finally, we'll talk about Greg Ciotti of Sparring Mind. And what he does very well is that he picks his targets carefully and then pitches them outstanding content. So if you're struggling with guest posting, it may be because you're not shooting high enough and you're not trying to get your content published on mega authority sites. Now, you know, a big part of getting published on a site like Smart Passive Income, which is a very authoritative site, is if you have a relationship with the site owner. But a big chunk of it, if not most of it, is the content that you're pitching. And what Greg does very well is that he targets these sites and then pitches them an outstanding piece of content, specifically a case study. So in this case, he published a case study about how he was able to get 2,000 unique visitors using SlideShare. And then his post at Think Traffic, which is another popular internet marketing site, he was able to get 7,000 newsletter subscribers from one YouTube video. Now, he probably wouldn't be able to get published on sites like this if he was publishing on 20 sites a month, because that would dilute the quality of his content and he would have to publish something like 5 ways to get more traffic from YouTube. But instead, he publishes something outstanding, and with that content, he's able to open a lot of doors and get his stuff published on authority sites in his niche. So the takeaway message is that you should be shooting for the stars sometimes and trying to get your guest posts published on mega authority sites. But to do so, you have to step your game up and really send them something outstanding. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.